Good morning. Hopefully, can somebody tell me whether the sound is working this morning? Uh, oh, I don't know how to change that. So, for some reason, this says that slow mode is on for. Oops, don't do that. Cancel. So it says slow mode is on for comments, chat parts. I don't know how that works. Good morning, Iris and Loretta. Can you all hear me? So good morning and welcome to Simply Live with SimplyLesa on this wonderful Sunday morning. Yes, I am somewhere different, and the lighting's not really great, is it? Oh, that's worse. We could make this a monster movie, and I could just shine it under my chin. I am. Not new mic. I put on this headset because I'm inside a friend's house, and it's where I'm at. So it's what I'm doing. Okay, and I couldn't tell, or I can't tell, whether the headset's working. Right. From my end, I was trying to test it. I couldn't figure out how. I have only done a live one other time from this laptop. And when I come to visit this friend's family, usually it's around Thanksgiving, but they have really super great internet. And so I'm able to do the live from the computer. I would love to be able to, the stuff I can see on the screen, boy, I wish I could do this every time. That would be really nice. Okay, so good morning. So let's see what's going on today. What are we going to talk about? I am on the road. I have been doing some different things. I've had my hair is just my laundry is in the washer in the laundry room right now. And so I haven't washed my hair and it needs washing. I do my hair care in an old-fashioned way, and I believe it's part of why my hair can grow as long as it does, is that I wish this lighting was not shining on the side of my head quite so much. I think I look, it's like you can see every wrinkle, every, but we need some light. There we go, that might be better. Anyway, so I did not get the package from Joseph. I'm not sure how that package was being delivered. So I don't know what's going on with that one. And I won't tell you if and when I'm headed home because the element of surprise is good. It keeps things safer. Right now, I have been home this week. And then I came back out because I missed Thanksgiving, basically. The day was around and came and went, but I was down at my friends Candy and Rick, which is where the robbery had taken place. And so once I had that Amazon problem solved, as best we could, then I felt comfortable leaving. So I decided to go back by the cabin, take care of some details, visit some friends, check in. I found out that one of my friends' stepfather passed away while I was down in New Mexico. That was sad to hear. He was kind of a cool guy. And darn, he did not put me in the will for his Jeep. And I'm trying to be silly. It's a very, when somebody passes, it's sad and it's life. Anyway, so I went home and I met up with Loretta and did a little consult. Thank you so much with her vehicle. And stopped at Farmer's Market and got some specialty bread from Carrie to bring to this friend's home. She always has a loaf of bread on the kitchen counter, so I thought that would be a good thing to do. So I did that, and so here I am. It's raining. I am inside. I could be sleeping outside, but why? She has extra room. I can do my laundry. I can use her kitchen. I, can think through some things, talk to friends. It's kind of nice to have this stability of a long-term friendship. And I've had a long-term friendship with this family. They kind of adopted me years ago. And yeah, it's given me a different perspective a little bit. Let's see. What else is going on? I noticed that I can, because I'm on the computer, I can do some kind of weird things. So I'm going to do this. Well, there's only a few of us here, so I can play with this while we're on here. Do you guys have questions today? Please, do the whole Q thing and ask me questions. I'm trying to think too. Loretta, Mojave, I was thinking about your rig some more, and I'm hoping I can help you remember to go ahead and have some aesthetics in your rig when you're planning it. Doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to always feel like dirty camping kind of thing, right? I'm not saying yours is, or any of ours is, but I'm saying don't forget to give yourself the blessing of a color you love, a reminder of something in your space. It kind of, even if it's not your 24/7 home, whether it is or it's not, allow yourself to glamp it somehow if that works for you, right? Maybe you're a rancher style person and you love, cowboy boots and horses or something, and go ahead and do those things as well. But don't forget to give yourself some aesthetics. It could be a battery operated candle. It could be a color that you love. When I helped April, when I was doing the mentoring, which was part of my contract with Homes on Wheels Alliance for the minivan, when I was helping April, I took her shopping to get ideas about who she was as a person and what she loved so that I could help her create a home that was more of a home. And while we were out shopping, she loved pink. She loved glitzy things. So I took her into the holiday decoration section. It was in the late fall, so there were Christmas decorations around. And so I took her in and we started just walking around all the Christmas decorations. And I found her a mini chandelier in her color with her kind of glam, and she went gaga. And I was like, it's $2. Get it. Get the little chandelier, hang it from your mirror, use it as your inspiration. Use it to remind you that this is your home And maybe you've always wanted a chandelier and you don't have space for one, but you have space for a little Christmas decoration. Hang it from the mirror, hang it from one of the oh crap handles in the car, find a way to hang it up and give yourself. But um, so yes, sometimes it looks like a garage sale, and that's okay. If that's what you need to have, that's fine for you. But pick something when you make your window covers. If you want to make window covers, you can choose to have the outside of them a color that makes it look like it's dark in the car and nobody can see in. But on the inside, you can have a color that you love, or a pattern that makes you feel like it's wallpaper in a bedroom, or there's lots of those kinds of things. So yeah, just don't forget to give yourself some aesthetics. It's okay. Yeah, I've always had Lucy lights, but I am disappointed in them, the inflatable ones lately. Now, I had the Lucy Emerge, which has a red flashy light on it, and it has helped me have an ambulance come help me with an allergy. So they are good. Um, No, I've never heard from April since that event, and I have not heard from Hawa since that time that I helped her. Nobody's ever contacted me again. So, um, that's not a comment. That's truth. So, um, let's see the uh, Lucy lights. That's where I was. I loved the Lucy string lights, but I didn't like how large the battery pack thing was that you had to wrap it around. And it was what, $35, $40. And I noticed there's a new Lucy light at Walmart that I'd like to try, and it's right around $14. That's reasonable for a light to try. Um, uh, I liked that they had the solar panels on them, and you could charge them with a USB. So they had the internal battery that's rechargeable, and I really do like that. I've heard good things about the UCO uh, Sprout. I've heard really good things about that. I don't know, but I probably will try the newer Lucy light. It has a long orange thing that is got wire in it, that so you can wrap it around things and whatever. I may try that first. And of course I have my candle lanterns and stuff. So I'm trying at the same time to write you guys I just saw that I can create a poll. So let's create a poll while we're on here just to see what happens. Some to play with it because I can, and some because uh, okay, so how do I ask the question? That's what I'm trying to think. Yes, I think decorations and having some ambiance in your space is important for your mental health and everything else, and for the way people view you as well. So I think keeping the outside of your vehicles in good repair and generally looking good, I think it's important. And I do have plans for someday a paint job. I need to do a paint repair job because I've got chips of paint peeling off my car right now. So I need to learn. I've got the sandpaper. I need to learn how to patch paint jobs for now. And then when I can afford it, I have a couple of ideas about paint jobs that would be cool on my little rig. I also found out how to restore the black on my bumpers and my removable top, which is fiberglass. And I have not purchased that stuff yet. It's called Forever Black. I haven't even watched a video about how to do it, but I want to do that as well and keep my rig looking as good as I can while I'm working on it. I'm hoping to probably put a roof rack on because I have my recovery tracks inside and I'd like to get them outside the car. Of course, if I ever use them, they're going to get really dirty, and putting that dirt in that tiny space is going to be a challenge. I also, this is what I'm trying to formulate a question while I'm talking to you about. Uh, uh, okay. Okay, we're going to do this. Should I change my idea about a hammock stand? That's what we're going to do. And then I can add options. What are the options? How many of these can I do? Okay, so I'm adding some things, and then I guess I get to let you see it. Oh, does it not let me? Must contain. Oh, I put too much. Okay. Can I put more choices? Oh, I can only put. Okay. Okay. I guess I can only put ask your community. All right, we'll see what happens. Okay. Some of this thing I just put up that you might be able to see. I don't know. We'll see how that works. Welcome, all you people who have come in. I see there's 5 people. I am so excited about. Okay, I guess I can't. I am so excited about having. Oh, what happened here? Oh, I don't need those things coming up while I'm trying to do this. Having a hammock to use daily. Yeah. Well, here's the thing about the hammock stand. I don't know how that. We're just trying that poll thing I put up. Um, I am excited about the hammock stand. I think it would look really super cool on the tracker. First off, I just think because the tracker's kind of a cross between a Jeep Wrangler and a beach vehicle kind of thing, and it's a mini vehicle, so it's kind of even better, I think. So, um, I know that putting the hammock stand on, first I've got to put on a front accessory trailer hitch, receiver hitch. And so I've been quoted $350 for that. With a couple of things that have happened recently, I have part of that budgeted, but not all of it right now. And it's nobody's fault but my own, but some of it's because of I was trying to finagle some of this stuff. And so I don't have the front receiver hitch on. Putting a front receiver hitch on the car increases the weight distribution stuff that's going on. Not a horrible thing. It's just a thing. Um, and then, of course, that hammock stand will be right about 45 pounds, and it'll live on the front of the car. Which, when I talk about it, I'm so excited about that because I don't have to set it up. Of course, I can't take it. I can't use it. It's only useful in a receiver hitch on somebody's vehicle. So, um, there is that factor that it's, you got to have the car for it to work. Yes. So then I've been in that situation where the theft occurred and I was down in New Mexico and it was 9 degrees and blowing 65-mile-an-hour winds. That was a challenging situation to be in this smaller car. That that doesn't take away from the hammock stand. I feel like the hammock stand is a separate piece, but I'm always doing this thing with my budget about, okay, well, by the time I get a $350 hitch on the front, then I spend 600 and some odd dollars for the hammock stand so I can have that. Now I'm at $1,000, and do I need to do something else for $1,000, right? That's the way my brain works because I didn't just do it yet. And then I find a situation where it's like it was down in New Mexico with it being so uncomfortable. And I was like, wow, yeah, it could be warmer. Maybe I should get a hot tent. Maybe I should, so that when I'm in a situation, then I could, at 9 degrees, start a fire and just move over into a space during the day or to sleep in. I mean, not that I need it to sleep in, but maybe I should just do that, and then I could be more comfortable when it's ugly out. And then I'm like, yeah, but the good tents are, another 40 pounds of weight and $12 to $1,500. And is it doable? And is it, so I go through those things. Maybe I want more of, a hot tent. Maybe I want more options as I go along in the future. Something that's kind of new for me. I agree with you, Brooke. Um, so here's some other things that I've thought about, and so that's why I decided I'm going to bring you all in on the decision and play with that thing because I'm on the computer today. So part of what I'm thinking about is I do need options, but here I've had more experiences, and I love my little tracker. As much as I wanted a Wrangler and whatnot, I don't think I'd be able to afford to keep it running right now. But I can afford this. It looks enough like a Wrangler to, satisfy that part of my adventurous spirit thing. And I can afford the fuel so that I can. I knew people coming in. I can afford the gas, so I can afford to actually still travel, even when gasoline and things are more expensive and it's challenging for some people. I'm doing okay, and I can afford to keep this in good repair. I can afford, the parts if something was to go wrong. I can afford oil changes and tune-ups, and I might not be able to on a different vehicle. So I feel very blessed with what I'm able to do. So some of the other things that I'm thinking are that I have needs. And in my past, I've always had the survival. It's got to be done now because the other thing's going away. And it will be ripped away from me and I'll have no choices, right? And and now I'm having some experiences like being here visiting with these friends. This is my third or fourth year, and I've known these people for 10 years or more. And it's a consistent, just like my health, I've been consistent, just like we're being more consistent on Sundays here together. Um, I think consistency really does make some big changes in our lives. And so I'm learning that the consistency seems to be more important. And having the stability of my property and the cabin, this is the first time I've been able to like run back. It was cold. I started a fire in the wood stove. I was warm. I did what I had to do, and then I left. And it's like that was the goal, but I didn't think it was possible. And so now I'm looking at, I agree, Iris, about the whole sleeping on the decision. I feel like God's had me sleeping on the decision for a while because some things came up. I wasn't able to just do what I thought I needed to do to put the hitch on the car. It hasn't even happened yet. And I wasn't able to just order the hammock stand, and then I found out the hammock stand's going to take 8 weeks or more to get, even when I do order it. So um I I won't be ordering it from McLean. I found another way to order it. I actually found out who McLean orders from, and I'll have to buy 2 hammock stands to get one, but it'll be half the price. And so I'll have an extra one to sell or something. Is probably the way that will work when it comes up. Uh, yeah, I hear you, Mojave, on the cabin option. I think that this is wonderful. I don't like the headspace worry thing. Uh, I don't like driving away from the cabin and being concerned about, is it going to be there when I come back? Is somebody going to have vandalized it? That kind of stuff. But that's also why I choose to not own very many things. And there's not much somebody wants, so there's not much for them to steal. And if they vandalized it, I would be super disappointed. There would be a piece of ouch in there, but it wouldn't kill me. So I think I'm managing those things pretty well. If I had it to do over again, see, I only built the cabin because of COVID and because I thought me and some of my closest friends were going to need a place to weather the zombie apocalypse kind of thing, right? And so, oh, Brian, hi. It's so good to see you. I love you, buddy. Um, yeah, I thought that I needed to prepare a space where we could survive and grow food and, watch down the hill to see if the zombies were on their way. So I'm trying to make light of that. But that's why I built the cabin. And had that not happened in the world, I would not have made that choice. So maybe God knew something I didn't. And so now I have basically my dream vehicle and I can afford it. And I am paying for some things because I'm not all the way debt free, but I'm not in a horror steal off the UPS trucks. Yeah, tell me about it, right? They steal our Amazon packages, and while they're there, they grab generators. Yeah. Um, so um, I um, if I had it to do over again, I might not have chosen the cabin. I might have chosen. I'd looked at them before. I might have chosen one of the Ellis canvas tents. Okay, and this will tell you what a hot tent is. A hot tent is a tent with a stove jack that you can put a wood stove in that has enough space for you to walk around and use the wood stove. And so it can weather storms and whatever else. So basically, it's a canvas tent with, well, it doesn't have to be canvas. It's a tent, portable shelter with a wood stove. That's what a hot tent is. Doesn't have to be canvas. A lot of people understand that the canvas tents seem to be one of the better higher quality. And come on, in cowboy camps for real, they've used canvas tents for years and years. And the Ellis tent company is the company who makes the tents for cowboy camps. And so for years, they've been improving on the old standard canvas tents. And they have some really good options. But they're like $1,500 for a tent. That's true. And then you're going to spend $600-700 for a good quality, probably titanium, so it's not too heavy to maneuver, wood stove. And then, of course, you got to process your wood. It would be really comfortable. I love my cabin, but um, I would say that if I was doing this over again, I would go with the canvas tent over the cabin, and the reason I would is because the reason I would do the tent over the cabin is because when I leave, I could take it with me, and there's no concern about thefts and vandalism, things of that nature. And it lets me stay more mobile. So then it's with me if I'm in a situation like I was recently in New Mexico with the 65-mile-an-hour winds and 9 degrees. And with all that mobility, that would have allowed me to just set up that home away from home, stick the tent up, go get some wood, and be comfortable. And let my friends enjoy it with me, right? And so I can see a use for all of these things. So uh uh so my friend Brian Gallion, I think you say Gallion, and his dog Sierra from, I think it's Overland, off-grid off-grid uh Overland Adventures or something like that. Um, they, yeah, they just got one of the Ellis tents. I know that what's Kent Rollins, the cook, the cowboy cook, he has had Ellis teepee tents as his bedroom tent for years. When he's in the cowboy camps, most of his day is spent in the kitchen tent. So he just had the small, I think they call them prairie teepee tents or something like that. And so, but my buddy Brian just got now Brian, I think, owns 3 different pieces of property that he nomadically travels between these properties. And one of them he has a vintage trailer on. I've already done the trailer thing, didn't like it. I don't like when your shoes freeze to the floor. And seriously, I didn't like the worry when I drive away from home about the rats and the rattlesnakes getting in. Now, some of you know, one summer for 3 months, I had a rattlesnake in the wall 5 inches from my pillow in my bed, but he was in the wall. So that was a whole thing. I don't like the rats getting in. I don't like the snakes following the rats. Your shoes will freeze to the floor in the winter. What's the point? I don't want to drag it around. I don't want to tow things. Towing brings in a whole different. Some of you, yeah, Brooke, you tow. You love towing. I don't like towing. I don't love it. Oh, by the way, on this trip, I'm in Sedona, Arizona, and this trip. The last time I left here and I was headed toward Flagstaff, I made myself drive up 89A because years ago when I had Van Tucket, someday you guys will see that picture. I guess there's a way here, but I don't know how to do it to show you a picture. But I don't know how to do it. I'm not quite ready to play with more stuff right now. But uh yeah, okay, I'm not going to do that. I was looking real quick. But back when I had Vantucket, it was a regular top Chevy G20 1997 Chevy G20 van. Okay. Um, I hadn't driven in a number of years because I had lived in New York City. I had gotten into simple living, and I had decided that uh, I didn't want to support petroleum companies. So I was never going to have a car again. So I was looking at bicycle travel, hiking, whatever. I wasn't going to have a car. And at that moment, I had uh, I had lived in New York City for a little while, which is very easy in Manhattan. Well, in any of the boroughs of New York City, it's very easy to because it's such a walking city, and there's public transportation everywhere. And in foreign countries, it's more like that. And I wish we were more like that here in the United States, but we're not. It's kind of sucky. Um, so we so back when that was all taking place, I didn't. I'm too loud. Okay, there's more people here than me. I'm doing my live. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. so so somebody just walked in and they were like, "Shh, don't hit it." And I was like, "What?" They weren't telling me I was being too noisy. They were getting their hat and they were going, "Don't talk to me. I just run in through to get my hat." I was like, "Oh." Anyways, so that's what that interrupter was. Don't you love just being in the room with me? um, so let's see. Yeah, so I don't want to live in a trailer. I don't like it. It sucks. I'm allergic to propane anyway, so I have to pull it. I don't have to, but when you get an old one, you may as well gut it and pull that crap out and have the space. That's what I did. Been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. So if I was doing this over again, I would go for the tent in a heartbeat. And I would get the wood stove to make it warm when I needed it to be warm. And that's the way I would maneuver. Because for right around 30 or 40 pounds and maybe a 15 to 20-minute setup time, uh, I could take the whole thing with me. So I like the mobility part. So I would do that over building a $7,000 cabin in a heartbeat. I would have still put up the yard fence that I have because it gives you a space that's protected from coyotes and some animals. And I would still plant some gardens, and I would still put in the garden room and the outdoor shower and things of that nature on and a water tank, water storage on the property. Absolutely still would do that, but I would not do the other things. I don't want to drive a school bus. I don't want to drive a big van. Oh, I just remembered that I started to tell you the van thing. When I had the van, I hadn't driven in a long time, and I had been in Central America, and then I had hiked. Oh, no, no, no. I hiked afterwards. No, no, I hiked first. No, I hiked first on the Appalachian Trail. Uh, it was an attempted through hike I did not finish. I was too sick. I had to come off. And I don't ever want to hike alone like that again. That doesn't mean I don't ever want to hike, but I don't want to do it alone. Anyway, I didn't, I didn't want to support petroleum, whatever. So when I came back to the States and realized that I'm not going to be able to live as a long distance hiker and have any sense of I don't know I don't know the right term for this, but like pride as a human being. Um, in Yeah, Brian, yeah, Brian, take another look. Don't get a Kodiak. No offense. No offense. Kodiak tents are very heavy. They're hard to put up by yourself. And I do not think a Kodiak is the way to go. I I have looked at Ellis tents for years. I'm telling you, please go look at those. I've been watching them, keeping my eyes on those for a year. I would do that over a Kodiak in a heartbeat. I just think you'd be happier. The spring bar system in Kodiaks, those tent poles are heavy. The tents themselves are heavy. Anyways, I'm just saying, just take a look again. And I love you, but if I am considering. I don't know whether it's the time for me to do that or not. But here's the thing. So, okay, but back to 89A in Sedona and my old van. Let me finish that story real quick. When I was driving to Arizona the first time, it snowed that first year in Flagstaff, and I was in Flagstaff, and I'm allergic to propane, and we didn't know it, but we were finding that out at the time. And I was freezing, and I couldn't find a way to stay warm. So I ended up being advised to drive down 89A to Cottonwood, and I can't do that. I can't do what I was going to do. So to go to Cottonwood, I'm typing at the same time here, people. There we go. This is weird, talking and typing, but it's kind of cool that I can because I'm on the computer. So anyways, so I was advised to stay warm, to go meet some people in Cottonwood, and to take 89A to get there. And so I'm driving this van, and it's big to me. I haven't been around this. I've been in Central America a long time, and vehicles are tiny, and roads are sketchy and tiny and whatever. And I'd been walking for years. I hadn't driven in a long, long time until I got that van. And I'd been through a very traumatic experience when I first got the van. So a few months before this, I was very traumatized. And then I thought that being near Bob was going to solve all my problems, right? And I run down near Bob, and the first night he tells me where to park to camp. And I got out in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Well, the next morning, I've got an alcoholic guy pissed off at me because me, the effing B woman, showed up in camp and opened her door in the middle of the... Well, where am I supposed to go pee, right? Anyways, and so that wasn't a very safe situation either. But so I'd been traumatized and re-traumatized. And then I drive down 89A in this van, and there's construction going on, and the road is 2 very narrow lanes, and I'm in this big van, and the van won't go slow down that road. I don't know if any of you guys have gone down. It's a really steep, mountainous road with hairpin turns. I can't make the van go as slow as the construction signs were telling me I'm supposed to be doing. And the van's getting away from me. I didn't know how to shift an automatic. So there was a whole thing. It was, it's a whole thing anyways. So I have been afraid of that road ever since that day. So when I left here the last time, I forced myself to drive up it. I was like, you know what? If I drive up, it shouldn't be as scary as driving down. So let me try that. So on my way here, this trip on purpose, I didn't realize it was going to be raining, but I decided to drive down it because I'm more comfortable with my tracker. And oh my God, I did it. And I was not scared, and I can handle the car going down, and I feel so much better. So I'm proud of me for that. I would not want to do that with a van again, and I would not want to do that towing anything, even if I was towing with this little tracker, because you can tow like a motorcycle camper or something. But I don't want to do that. I don't like that. I would much rather, if I'm going to do something, bring a canvas tent along with me, and then I would choose, because I'm trying to keep my stuff little and lightweight so that it, so I can maneuver and keep my gas mileage and all that good stuff, right? I would do a titanium fold up wood stove, and that's what I would do anyways. So I'm yes, they're in Durango, and yeah, Mojave, yeah, absolutely. Um, and guys, check out it's Brian and Sierra. Let's see if I can remember. Off grid. Oh, I always forget this. What did I tell you the other day? Brooke, what did I tell you? Off grid something adventures. Off grid. I want to say over. I'm not sure that's right. Um, uh, yes, Brooke. Hey, Brooke, if you can find Brian's, I told you about Brian's thing when we were chatting the other day. If you can find his thing, would you stick it up there for me? Backcountry adventures. That's it. I want to make sure he gets some credit. And since I should be able to do that here, let me see. Off grid backcountry adventures. That's my friend Brian and his dog Sierra. Sierra has cancer. Um, they're friends of mine. I've met them a couple of times. We haven't camped together. We were supposed to camp together, but it didn't work out. Anyways, and he just switched to, I don't remember which model of tent he got, but you guys can go look at that. He's just starting to use it, and he's so thrilled that it only takes him 15 minutes to set up his tent, and the space for him is wonderful. He got one that's almost as big as my cabin. I'm like, if I had had that option, I never would have put $7,000 into a cabin. Okay. I could have put that $7,000 into the rig I've got, and I would be debt free and have a fabulous little rig. So I can see kind of, I'm still paying on my vehicles. I actually have 2 years to go to pay off the $5,000 it has cost me in vehicle cost in the last couple of years. So I'm working on paying that off. And but here's the thoughts I've had. Like I said, maybe I've already said this and I don't need to repeat it, but I just am looking at the situations I have been in, and being in 9 degrees with the wind in New Mexico, while I chose to stay there to solve the problem with the Amazon and the sheriff's department. And I chose to stay just in case I needed to go to the sheriff's office and deal with something. Because I can deal with Amazon from a distance, but if the sheriff's office isn't cooperating the way I want them or need them to, then I feel like I need to be there in person. And so that was my choice to stay there. And while I'm there, I may as well help my friends improve their life somehow. So I helped them. I taught them how to put up basic fencing. Let me speak on basic fencing for Mojave as well. I'm going to end this poll. Um, uh, so I still think having the hammock on my car is like a fabulous idea. It's going to look great. And I want it, but maybe I shouldn't do it yet. Okay. Maybe I should go at this in a different step, in a different order. And maybe having a hot tent is a better idea. So I do not know about this other item. Let me, since I can do this thing on here, since we're on my computer. Chromebook, not really thrilled with Chromebooks, but whatever. When it's working, it works. Let's give these people a little plug. So there is this other shelter thing I've looked at. And that when I was at one of the expos, I sat with Darren, who's the founder of the iDome shelters. And I really like their shelter as well. Their shelter, you can actually hang a hammock inside of. Their structure is good. I do not know. I know it's possible to add a stove jack to it, but I don't know anybody who's done that. There aren't a lot of these out there being used. Okay. But I love the Legoland versatility of the iDome shelter. I'm not 100% sure that that would be a better option for Lesa over the Ellis tents. But the fact that I'm such a hammock person, it almost makes sense. The problem I see, or the issue I see with an iDome shelter, is that their pole structure, when it folds down, it's 6 feet, 6.5 feet long set of poles. It looks like you could set it up by yourself. I haven't tried to set one up yet. I need to get back with Darren and see if I can't like figure something out. Like meet up with him somewhere and actually get experience with one. But the space inside is wonderful. And the fact that you can hang 3 hammocks inside of it, you can hang all your gear from the structure. That's kind of nice. The fact that you can set it up as only a frame and use it for hammocks, and you could set it up with just the sunshade on the top, or you could set it up as if it was a gazebo. All of those extras kind of makes that a nice piece of equipment as well. But that pole structure being 6.5 feet long is longer than the roof of my car. And I could put it inside the car, but I would be really pissed off with having to sleep with that if I had to sleep inside the car. So there's that thing being thrown in there as well. Love the Ellis tents. Can't use a hammock inside the Ellis tent. You're going to be, but the Ellis tent, wow, is a beautiful thing. Anyway, so, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. What I'm basically saying is that had COVID not happened, I would not have been encouraged to build a cabin on my property. Now, when I built the cabin, I built it with other people in mind. So I'm not sorry. I don't regret building it, being able to go there and start a fire, be warm, do what I got to do and get out. But I built it as the public space, knowing that if me and 5 of my closest friends or me and X number of people had to be there, all of my friends were going to have their own bedrooms with them. So I wasn't trying to make space for people to sleep. I was trying to make space to get out of the weather during the day to, chit chat with each other and whatever. So there you go, Iris. Now you're thinking like me. Um, I would not have to have the iDome people provide a wood stove jack. It's called a jack, the flap. And you can buy the jacks and install them in any tent. And Lone Wolf, I forgot, it's a number, 906, 903. He puts stove jacks in all kinds of tents. And I've known that for years. It's not a hard thing to do. It's a silicone thing you buy, and you have to have Velcro. You have to stitch Velcro or glue Velcro on, and then you have a Velcro thing and a. Anyways, it's not a horrible process to add a stove jack to a tent, and so being able to, I could add one to the iDome. Oh, so now my phone wants to ring, and it's over there, and I'm not going to answer it because I'm out. I'm with y'all. I don't know who's calling, but I'm with y'all. So, and I can't reach it to shut it off. Sorry. So, and Ellis has done such a good job with their tents, and because of who they market to, which is cowboys and ranchers, I would not expect Ellis to be trying to build in hammock space. Now, honestly, if I have the hammock stand on the front of the car, the Ellis tent's fine, because then I have a place to go be in my hammock, and I can be separately in the tent. But so on my own property, the cabin was not about I needed a house to live in. I don't want a house. I love being in my vehicle. I love being mobile. So that's not even for me. Who's it for? I don't know exactly, but it's not really for me. So I don't know the answer there, but I'm just saying I've thought about selling the cabin off my property and switching to a canvas tent. I have thought about that. It hasn't happened, but I've thought about it. It could happen. I mean, it's possible. It's built as a legal outbuilding that's non-permitted. So it has to be, in order to satisfy that in counties where you're doing off-grid stuff, you have to be under a certain square footage, and you have to be able to move the thing off the property, or it doesn't qualify. So it's not on a permanent foundation. So it could be jacked up on a truck and moved. Yes. So I don't know, but my point being, had this all happened before COVID, we wouldn't even be talking about it. I wouldn't have a cabin. I would have had a decent tent so I could be so mobile. And then if I'm in Ehrenberg, and it's like my first year in Ehrenberg, 17 degrees, raining, cats and dogs, and the wind blowing. And it was crazy, crazy, crazy cold and hard for me. And one of these Ellis tents would have been the answer, with rebar stakes. Would have been the answer. So I don't know. So I brought that all out. We're not quite at an hour, but we're getting close. Do you guys have any more questions today? Because I know I'm being a little loud in the house I'm in, and I'm going to want to get off of here a little earlier today than normal. Loretta, I'm more than happy to talk to you about more of this stuff. Absolutely more than happy. You have my number. You can text me and whatever. But I am saying that I think it's a pretty good idea to keep your options open. And the fencing thing, when you're doing starter fencing on a piece of property, what's your goal, right? And for me, the goal was to keep the cattle away from any bucket that might be my toilet, because cattle see buckets as if they're water or food, right? And to keep the cattle from ruining my lawn chairs that cost me $40, right? I get so tired of that. So You want to, just protect the area around whatever vehicle you travel in or tent you travel in. And so I found a rather inexpensive way to do that. I would not carry this with me, but if I was starting over again, this is what I would do is I would use that same redwood. It's called snow and sand fence that from Tractor Supply. It used to be $50 a roll. Now it's $70 a roll. Boy, inflation, right? But the roll is 4 feet high by 50 feet long, and you can buy T-posts in 5 packs. And so you get a few T-posts and a roll or two of that, and make a space around your starter area to keep the cattle from destroying everything you've got. And just don't do a lot of storage, because storage invites people to come be nosy and poke around and what can we get, right, when you're not there. And so that's why there's not a bunch of stuff at my place. If somebody goes there and I'm not home, they're not going to find anything. So I hope I have been helpful to y'all today. We're at an hour. I am wanting to end this. Y'all know how to get a hold of me. Send me an email, a text, or whatever if you need to. I love y'all. I hope you enjoy your week. And Brian, I have you on my list to call soon, so I'll be calling you. And look up the stuff on those Ellis tents because I think they're good. Take a look at Brian and Sierra's little adventures. He's been having, Sierra's got cancer, and so he's been dealing with that. Anyways, I don't know what else to say today. I'm glad y'all were here. Love you too. Your week. Ciao.